How's it going, everybody? Jeff Slakey from iFiber One KMAS, and I'm real happy right now to be walking and talking with the new Chief of Police for the city of Shelton, Chief Beason. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, Jeff. How are you doing?
Can I call you Carole?
Yes, of course,
For the
please.
purpose of this interview,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
great. It's nice to meet you in person and talk to you, and I know that you come from San Diego, and now we're in Shelton. It's quite a change.
Yes, it's a little bit of culture shock for me, mostly because of the cold.
Right.
And I've learned that you guys have had a record amount of rain this year.
Yeah.
But my husband and I, we wouldn't know that because this is our first experience being here. But in spite of that, my husband and I absolutely love it here.
How'd you find out about the position?
So there's a website that's called the Police Executive Research Forum, and they have a lot of training and such on there. And I was looking at the jobs that were available, and there was one that all it said was the city of Shelton. It intrigued me enough to open it to figure out where Shelton was. It didn't even say what state it was in.
Sure.
So once I opened it and started looking at it, my husband started looking at stuff too, and we realized it was the kind of place that looked like a place we would want to live.
Yeah.
So he says, what's the worst thing that can happen? Go ahead and apply and see what happens. And here we are.
And here we are. Big change from San Diego, though.
It's a very big change from San Diego, but in a good way. I really like the small town atmosphere here. Everybody that I've come in contact with has been super helpful and very welcoming. And I've definitely got the impression that people here are part of a family.
Sure, yeah.
So that's been really refreshing for me.
You were involved in a lot of teams in the leadership and different departments in San Diego. What were some of those, and what are some of that experience that you can bring here?
So I kind of see myself from San Diego being a jack of all trades because I've worked so many different positions. I worked at 5 of our 9 patrol commands throughout my career.
Wow.
In investigations, I worked vice, I worked narcotics, I had sex crimes, child abuse, our internet crimes against children. I also worked in the backgrounds unit. I had the homeless outreach team for a while.
Oh, yeah?
I worked in internal affairs, so I've kind of done a little bit of everything.
And then when you look upon Shelton, I know, working with Chief Moody over the years, he has got a great staff there. There's a ton of very well qualified folks working for you now. What have you seen out of those folks?
Well, everybody on the department, I've had the chance to meet everybody that's actually worked since I've been here. Everybody is very, very helpful. They seem to be very, very motivated. And it's also been made very clear to me that I have ginormous shoes to fill.
Oh, yeah.
Following Chief Moody. He's very, very, very well liked and did a great job. So I'm going to work very hard to live up to his legacy.
Well, I think let's just put this to rest right now. 49ers or Chargers or?
Well, I was a Chargers fan the whole time I lived in San Diego, right up until they went to Los Angeles. And now I root for whatever team is going to beat the Chargers.
There we go. I like that. That sounds good. As we walk through downtown here, it's so nice to be able to, obviously now with COVID it's a little different, but know all the shop owners. And I think one of the things that Darren had been instilling over the years was that community policing.
Yes.
Kind of like what we're doing now, just walking and making sure that you're seen, the presence is seen in the police department. When it comes to those types of things, you find those important? You want to continue that stuff?
I absolutely want to continue that stuff because what I've learned in the time that I've been in law enforcement is that the police can't be everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so in order to make sure that we know what's going on, we have to have those relationships with people in our community so they can feel safe and that they trust us to tell us what's going on so that we can help solve problems. Having that day-to-day interaction as people is really important if you want people to trust you with their problems.
How has coming into this new position during the virus kind of changed the way that you've had to deal with things, whether it be, staff meetings or just getting a chance to finally meet the folks in person?
Well, Chief Moody told me when he first started, he held an immediate all-hands meeting so he could get his message out to everybody at the same time. And of course, I can't do that. So I made a point as everybody comes in working all different hours to make sure that I was there so I can meet everybody one-on-one.
Yeah.
And that's worked out well, but it's not as efficient as it would be The other thing is that I really love the idea of being able to walk around and talk to all the store folks and get to know them that way. And between the weather and COVID, it hasn't been that conducive to doing that at this point. So I'm still looking forward to that when it gets either a little drier or more people end up with the vaccine so that we can open more stuff up.
What about recreation? What do you like to do for fun? Those kind of things. We're on the gateway of the Olympics. You're about you're about an hour away from the ocean, from the mountains. You can be skiing in a few hours.
Yeah. So my husband and I both love to play golf.
Oh, perfect.
So we're looking forward to trying out all the new golf courses that are here that we haven't had a chance to play. We bought a motorhome last year, so we like to go camping and hiking and those kind of things. And we both would consider ourselves wine aficionados. So
well,
we're looking forward to the wineries up here.
Man, this sounds like it's a perfect fit then.
It really is, I think.
You know,
my husband, he's always wanted to live in an evergreen forest.
Oh, really?
Can't get him any closer to that than here.
Yeah, so. This is about as perfect as it's going to get. You know, we've got so many great things, and hopefully this upcoming summer we'll be able to bring back, Oyster Fest, which is
so looking forward to that.
A huge thing in the community, and so many folks come from all around, and it really is a nice family community here in Shelton. Over the years that I've had a chance to talk with so many folks, they really feel a sense of pride and a sense of ownership in the community, and it's a lot of fun. What do you say your leadership style's like?
Well, I would say that I tend to be a servant leader in the sense that I understand that my role is to be there and make sure that my folks have the training that they need, that they have the equipment that they need, and to be there to mentor them. When you see on the side of police cars when it says protect and serve, people have to understand that it's a lot more serving and occasionally protecting.
Sure.
So for me, it's always about making sure that my folks have what they need to do their job and taking good care of them, because if I take good care of them, they'll take good care of the community, and that's ultimately all of our goal.
One of the things that we've grown up to see in the community, and you mentioned you were part of it in San Diego, was the homeless outreach and things like that. Talk to me a little bit about kind of your philosophy on that and what the Shelton Police Department can do to help the folks who are homeless right now.
One of the key things I learned from my time on the homeless outreach team is that, first of all of us are one terrible thing away from ending up homeless. You don't realize just how precarious each of our situations are. When people tell you their story as to how they ended up homeless, those things that happen to people could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've learned is that a lot of people that end up homeless end up having some pretty serious trust issues once they're homeless, because ultimately what happened to them makes them more vulnerable. So it's a lot harder for people to want to trust that you're really going to help them. So it takes a lot of times to get people to trust you and then be willing to take the resources that are available. The other thing I realized is that homelessness is only partially a police problem. It is definitely an entire community problem, and it's something that all of the different partners have to work together if they want to see lasting change.
Yeah, I think over the years we've started to see that, where there's been more of the social outreach availabilities, and folks are able to call and have those resources come on site as those calls are happening, I think.
Right. Well, and I saw in one of your other broadcasts earlier, or actually late last year, about the law enforcement assisted diversion program.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get to know more about that program.
That was a good one.
That's also something that really helps, because a lot of times homeless individuals will use narcotics kind of to self-medicate because their condition is so blight out here on the streets. So I think that's a great program as well.
Well, that's a good program, a great partnership too with Mason County Public Health. The commissioners are totally on board, I think, with all of that, and starting to see some good work here. Well, it's been really great talking with you, and
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm glad we're able to do this. It's kind of a fun, different way to introduce you to the community and get out and see a little bit more of the sites. There's plenty to see and do in Shelton and Mason County, and you're going to have a heck of a good time as the weather gets better.
I'm already having a good time, even with the weather.
That's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Again, we're here walking and talking with the new Police Chief, Carole Beason, for the city of Shelton. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure.
And thanks for watching.